it was interesting. People always ask me how I got into aquatics. I'm a civil engineer by license and by degree. I went to engineering school back in the dark ages. It was, actually in the late 60s and into the 70s. And in the entire 5 years I was in engineering school, I never once heard the word swimming pool, except for my PE classes. I had 2 PE classes in swimming pools. But other than that, we never discussed it in any of the engineering science classes, the material science classes, chemistry, structural engineering. None of those classes did we ever mention the word swimming pool. So my advice to engineers, first of all, is that there is a need in the field. There is a vacancy in the field. There's not a lot of us who are aquatic designers. We can count the professional aquatic designers in the commercial field probably on a couple of hands and maybe have fingers left over in the United States. In the residential side, they're few and far between. Even large cities, metropolitan areas, may only have one engineer in the entire community that knows anything about designing swimming pools. So what we want to do with our Genesis courses is explain to these students, these graduate engineers or these new engineers, or maybe they're established firms, and most of the time they're going to be small firms. But we want to explain to them that, okay, you don't have to know anything about swimming pools. You've had the science, you've had the math, you've had the material studies, you've got the basics. Now come take courses with us in Genesis, and we'll teach you how swimming pools are built. And the light bulb will go off in your head and you'll say, that's why I learned that in hydraulics. That's why I learned that in concrete science. And it will make a whole lot more sense to you when you take the courses. The other thing I love about aquatics, and the reason I got into it 44 years ago, was because instead of designing, for example, a sewage treatment plant or a water treatment plant or something like that, in a swimming pool, we use every one of the skills that we learned in university. We study electrical, we study material science, we study chemistry of water conveyance systems, pumping, storage, filtration, and structures. All of those things are in a swimming pool, even the most basic backyard swimming pool. So from a educational standpoint, I get to use my whole education. And I have friends that have worked in big engineering firms that have spent their entire career checking structural drawings for reinforcing steel. That's their entire job. And here I get to use every one of the skills that I spent 5 years learning in college, and I get to use it in the field. So that was the first thing, is that take the courses. The second thing I would suggest to pool builders who are looking for engineers and engineers who are looking for pool builders is partner up. Get a small firm to go in with a pool contractor and say, hey, I'll do all of your design, we'll train together. Come take the courses together. Partner up, come to the courses, sit by each other. And the engineer can learn the wherefores of constructing a swimming pool, and the pool builder can learn the science that the engineer already knows. And they can collaborate, they can partner up and become a great team. That's important. And then I think that the final thing that I could suggest to them would be that by coming to these things, they can network. And engineer and pool builders, they come to our courses, especially our long courses that are 2 days long or 3 days long, and we have lunch together, we go out to eat together, and we have a certain camaraderie. We get together and we network with each other. And I still have engineers from all over the country call me and ask me questions. How do I do this? How do I do that? And so that networking is very valuable. And then we instructors, we remain as resources, basically free resources. They can call us and ask us questions, send us emails, and we'll answer the questions for them. And then lastly, I would tell them join PHTA. PHTA is the organization that represents not only the pool builders, but the vendors of equipment, the people that sell products for our industry, but also the design team. And by being a member of PHTA, they can become involved in code writing and standards. They can become involved in the schools. They can become faculty later on and teach somewhere else. So those are the things that I get out of Genesis, and I'd suggest to any new engineer coming into it. And by the way, I'm recruiting engineers. We're looking for engineers because we don't have near enough engineers to meet the demand of all the pool builders all across the United States.